Hello, everyone. Welcome. I hope all of you are doing well. Amazing. Yeah. We'll just wait one or two more moments until everyone can join. I see you can hopefully hear me already by the reactions and you're doing well. That's very good to see. Perfect. Yeah. I'm very excited to welcome you to today's webinar, the Q3 Roadmap Update. And with that, I think we can start into the webinar. We've got a packed agenda, so let's not waste any time. And we'll start off with a brief introduction. So my name's Will. I'm a customer success manager here at Personio, and I'm responsible for many of our customers in the DACH region. And alongside with my lovely colleague Ines, we'll be guiding you through today's webinar. And yeah, let's take a look at the agenda we're looking at today. So we'll give you a very brief overview of Personio and our product development principles, and I think this will help you give a yeah help you get a better understanding of how we actually develop our roadmap items, and so we can explain that to you. But we'll actually spend the majority of today in our product deep dives. So we'll explore some of the very exciting features that our product management team is aiming to get to you in the next few weeks and months. So with that, let's not waste any time and let's hop straight into the first slide. So, as you may recall, earlier this year, we introduced Personio, the intelligent HR platform, which is based on three core components: smart automations, dynamic adaptability, and proactive insights. And these three components are actually one key pillar of our product development step. So we take a look at these three core components and see what products and features relate to these as we develop and continue to improve Personio for you. More importantly, however, we use your feedback to really shape the vision of our product. I know I receive feedback on a daily basis from our lovely customers. I know our account managers, Ines, as well as a customer success manager. I'm sure she received lots of feedback from you. But some of the other key channels we use to actually develop our roadmap is the Personio community for one. So many of you are probably active in there already. If not, this is the chance. Get online, engage with the community. You have the opportunity to ask questions, share best practices with other customers, and just yeah, basically share some of the insights. And more importantly, also share some of the feedback you have on, for example, features that are missing currently in Personio that we can then pick up and discuss for our product development. Another channel we have is the customer advisory board. And this is a board of customers who are actually involved in the product development, who receive early access to the new information we share with them to really ensure we're actually developing a product that really fits your needs. That's a product that you actually want. And then finally, we also have the Co-Creation Council. And similar to the Customer Advisory Board, this is a set of customers who actually help us in the development of the product features. So when we roll them out, those features are actually working, the features that you want and you're looking for, and that are then working once we roll them out to the rest of our customer base. And when we looked at our roadmap for Q3, we really wanted to understand what are some of your priorities. So we listened and we heard you. And surprisingly, we noticed that actually lots of you, the vast majority actually, are still weighed down by manual tasks. So almost 60% of you are still spending time on administrative tasks. We also see that organizations are changing. The environment is changing, the economy is changing, AI is changing everything. And so you need a platform that changes with those times. And so we want to enable that Personio is that platform that changes according to the needs of your organization. And then finally, you also need to make faster decision making. AI has caught up with us, and it's a great opportunity. And I'm really happy to see that almost 40% of you are actually thinking of implementing AI into your workflows already. So we listened, and based on this feedback, we actually developed three innovation themes. So one is really looking at our basics, looking at a strong core HR platform. What can we do to enable you to get things done fast and right, and that automates the everyday? Secondly, we also really wanted to understand how we can enable you to really adapt with the ever-changing needs of your organization. no matter what comes next for you. And finally, we want to provide you with a platform that really provides helpful intelligence so that you can actually make faster decisions and think of easy reporting or insights that maybe you haven't uncovered yet. And this is all powered by AI. And I think this really fits well with some of the themes we mentioned earlier this year, which I just presented. And I'm happy to not waste any time and go into those product deep dives. To give you a better understanding of how we're going to show you some of the product updates, we'll first go into the core products. This will be covered by Inesh. And then later, I'll touch briefly upon the apps, payroll, and some of the integrations we've got planned for you. As always, please be aware that obviously this is some confidential information, so please refrain from sharing this outside of your organizations. More importantly, please note that we can't guarantee that any of these features will be available to you at any specific point in time. Nonetheless, I can reassure you these are some exciting updates, and the team is working hard behind the scenes to make this all available for you in the coming weeks and months. So, with that, let me hand over to Inesh. Inesh, please take over and show us some of the exciting updates we've got planned for our customers.
Amazing. Thank you. Thanks, Will, for the presentation and guiding us through this intro and how we come up with all these amazing features that will be released. As mentioned, I will start and dive into the core product, which is likely where many of you are spending most of your time in Personio. And I would really encourage you while we go through each topic to feel free to use the reactions and show us how insightful you think it is and how you feel about the upcoming releases. And we really hope you are as excited as we are. So starting with employee and organization updates. You will soon see a redesign in the personal information tab, where you'll be able to see and update employee information much quicker and efficiently, thanks to things like consistent date formats across hire date, birthday, and any other dates you may have, searchable dropdowns to make it easier to find the selected choices, and also clear data visibility, specifically, for example, the termination date and many other details that are crucial to your daily work. And we're also adding fixed headers so that you can scroll through the panels and navigate easily throughout the interface, and make it more smoother and intuitive to find all the relevant information. Those of you who are account administrators should already have access to trying it out, so we would really encourage you to do so and get ready before it is released to all the employees. Going back into the past for a bit, so we recently launched hierarchies in departments and teams, but now we are taking it one step further by allowing you to customize this concept. So the goal of these global hierarchies feature is that you will be able to create different layers with names that specifically fit your reality. So it's not that Personio will set it up for you. You will be able to choose if it is function, area, tribe, or the names that you use internally to make sure that you have consistent communication and that it is easily understood by any employee. And with this, you will also no longer need to rely on custom attributes to simulate these hierarchies, and you will be able to configure everything centrally and have it directly applicable to any other area of Personio. So this will also give you a better overview of how the organization is structured, because you will see these different layers being displayed as columns in the employee list, so you can filter based on that and also export this data using reports. Additionally, when it comes to how the employee attributes are configured, everything concerning employee data management will become way more powerful and flexible. Something that you probably struggle with as of now is that when an attribute is no longer needed, if you delete it, you will lose all the data. So we are introducing attribute archiving, which will make you which will allow you to just deactivate some attributes you no longer need, but without losing the data. So you will still have there all the information you need and be able to report on that. And with this new interface configuration, you will also find it more intuitive with clearly marked editable fields, customizable columns, and AI, as Will mentioned in the beginning, is also stepping in here and supporting you with some AI suggested translations to make it more scalable for international organizations. And in short, you will be able to flexibly adjust these to your needs and manage employee attributes in a more scalable way. Um, Still within this employee and organization concept, so as of now, the org chart only takes into account the reporting lines, but from the org units in the org chart release, we will be introducing a new way for you to understand how the company is structured. So we will have a more interactive org chart where anyone can see at a glance all the teams and departments with the different units or layers that you get to create, and quickly find who are the key contacts they need to rely on. So they will not be having to switch to another tool or maybe an external saved PDF where you have these different org chart, and they will get to see everything within Personio up to date and readily available. So this will hopefully support you also with fostering connection and making sure that everyone knows who to count on and who to reach out to on a daily basis. And let's now explore the people analytics section, something that ties very nicely with the whole employee organization topic. So earlier this year, we rolled out a very powerful report builder with ready-to-use templates. And throughout this process, we have also migrated the old system reports for those of you who have been with us for a longer period of time. And now the team is working hard also on making sure that what we have as custom reports will be available within this new report builder. So throughout the upcoming months and quarters, the team will heavily focus on making sure that all the data is available for you in this new report builder. And the main goal is to ensure that you can reliably view all the data and have the flexibility to decide and explore what is it that you need to do and look into. And with that, we will be introducing more data points such as absence data, also recruiting, and even things such as giving you visibility of all the data from the onboarding employees, for example, so that you can easily break things down and really feel confident making these data-driven decisions. And I know that this is the core part, but for those of you who are using the recruiting module, something that we will also be working on later this year is bringing the recruiting insights to the metrics tab so that you can have all the insights stored centrally in the same place. As mentioned, we will be adding more and more data entries in the new report builder, and with such a high volume of data at your fingertips, it may be confusing to understand how to build these reports, and we really want to make you be in the driver's seat and not to have to rely on any colleagues who may be more familiarized with reports or so we really want you to be able to generate the reports that you want exactly how you need it and starting from scratch, even without having to rely on our own templates. So really making you feel empowered to get the data that you need. And there's the saying that sharing is caring, and once you get to build your own reports and get the data that you find really interesting, we want you to be able to share this with your colleagues in a much easier and safe way. So we will be adding two ways of sharing in which people can view or edit the reports that you create, and the goal is to allow you to flexibly decide with whom you are sharing it with. So it can be a specific team, the entire department, someone like from a dedicated office, or just specific people separately. And with this, the system will, of course, always respect the access rights that are automatically applicable to the data so that you can really be safe and make sure that no one sees data that they shouldn't. And AI coming to again to save us. So Within the analytics area, you will be having in the metrics tab some AI generated summaries that will instantly surface key trends, priorities, and even sometimes identifying potential data gaps that you may have. So that means that you will get clear insights into your data without having to specifically look into that. So the goal is to really make it easier for you to focus on metrics that may need your attention or issues that may be popping up so that you can act accordingly, and to make sure that you don't have to proactively get there and see it every time you need to. We will also be adding some automatic alerts so that you get to be notified about these changes or things that may require your attention. So the goal here is to really make you have the peace of mind that you'll be on top of the data and that data is working for you in a way. And last but not least, within this analytics area, we will be adding proactive insights. And what does this mean? Basically, as mentioned, we want you to be aware of what is it that's going on with your organization and stay ahead of the curve. So this feature will give you the peace of mind by sending automatic notifications whenever something important changes. So it can be, for example, a really high spike in the number of absences or unusual salary trends, for example. So things that you may need your attention and that you need to act on quickly. And yeah, sooner rather than later. And you will be able to drill down on this data and have the full context of what is it that is behind these results and these numbers and dig into that. And now moving on to time management. This is a safe space, so let's be honest that understanding absence balance is a bit of a headache. So employees most often don't know how many days they have left, what is it that is pending, until when they get to use those days, and that's really what we want to address. So we want with this overhaul time of page, we want to make it easier, not only for employees to really know what's going on and how many days they have left, but also for managers or approvers to not lose track of who's out, when, why are they out, and what's going on within their teams. And most importantly, to you as well, because you're particularly towards the end of the year or when the carryover expiration is coming, you end up having to answer the same questions over and over again. And hopefully this will address it. So we are really excited to give a new face to this page, in which employees can automatically see how many days they have available and really drill down into the numbers and understand their balances. And managers will also be able to see all the pending requests so that they can have an overview of what is it that's pending, and most importantly, also what will be the balance of those employees once their request is approved. So hopefully this will lead to less confusion, less emails, and a clear inbox for you. Something that we've heard quite a lot also over the past years is that you would love to be able to track project-based time tracking in Personio. And we do have some projects, but as of now, they are very simple, and we will level up the game by making it how you want it. So reliable, as automatic as possible, and easy for all the teams, so that you don't have to be chasing them and trying to understand who's working on what, when, and how things are going. So each employee will easily be able to record the time they spend on each project or sub-project, and that will allow you to have a precise control and overview of how the efforts are being distributed. So we will allow you to set up automated workflows that can detect when something is missing and notify HR about these missing deadlines. And most importantly, also not only on how the data will be there from the employee side, but also for you. You will be able to export this in a reliable way so that you can do all the billing and forecasting with just a few clicks. And regarding how absences are set up, so we've been improving quite a lot how the whole time off configuration is done, and we want to take a step further, particularly in how you can build this, and we want to give you the flexibility to avoid the manual work and repetitive tasks. So what we will be doing is introducing a richer template library that will allow you to select from some ready-made templates that will be locally compliant also, and hopefully save you time instead of having to build these policies from scratch. And something that we're quite excited about is that we will allow you to handle in a more scalable way, also in a more strict way, let's say, how to handle long-term leave. So as of now, you don't really have the chance to decide on how specifically it will impact PTO accrual, for example, or the status of the employee, or even their salary. And that's exactly what we want to work on, and what we hope to bring this year. So not only the way you create these rules on how the system should behave based on specific policies, but also we will allow you to schedule some absence policy changes in advance, so you don't have to be worried on the 1st of January or on very specific holidays, and make sure that the data is there and that you can easily plan ahead and stay on top of things. And another long-awaited request that we've been having quite a lot is the whole concept of overtime and premiums. Please note that this is not specifically for Q3. It's more a long-term vision that we have, but we still wanted to share it with you, that we want to have an effortless and accurate way for you to handle how this time compensation should be handled. So we want to allow you to have the working hours categorized accordingly to the specific rules of your company, and having these premiums calculated over time. So this will be, of course, integrated with payroll to ensure that employees are paid correctly, and you don't have to be manually checking it out or running thousands of Excel sheets. But we wanted to make flexible options also for you on how you want to compensate this, either being with time off, payouts, a mix of both. So really giving you the flexibility to decide on how to handle this, and how this should impact also the balances and the expiration of these days. And now also thinking of making things easier and on the go in this fast-paced world, let's look into the mobile app. So as of now, in most cases, all the notifications and tasks are very central, very focused on the experience of the desk version, and that's exactly what we want to change soon. So we will be introducing push notifications in the mobile app with alerts that will catch your attention. And something that we really wanted to ensure is that you don't get overwhelmed by having that in your phone. So rest assured that you will be flexibly deciding what is it that matters to you, and you can decide on the notifications that you want to receive. And most importantly, you will also have a way to approve, reject, or mark tasks as done directly from your mobile. So you can really do it wherever or whenever suits you, and make sure that you get your work done. And speaking of getting things done and the whole automation concept, let's look into the workflow automation. So up until now, we've been in a transition phase in which we've had some approvals within workflow, some others in the approvals area of the settings, and this is what we will address soon. So basically, all approvals will be centralized within the workflows engine, and you will no longer have to move between different sections. And with this, the goal is to allow you to set up your approval processes, being it for time tracking, employee data changes, or time off. And the goal is to allow you to really set up the flows that fit each of your sections or different layers of the company, and avoid having different configuration processes. And to make it also easier, we will be having a improved interface so that you can easily manage all of these complex workflows. And something that we've heard a lot also is that you are missing some date type attributes to be used as a trigger. So things like sending out an email to congratulate employees about their work anniversaries or about their birthdays is something that is finally coming to life, and that you will soon be able to leverage and use for. Something else that we are quite excited about within the scope of these automations and the whole employee life cycle, and allowing you to be aware of any changes and really automating as many processes as you can, is this streamlined management of the employee lifecycle. So what does this mean? Whenever someone is promoted, changes offices or legal entities, for example, there's usually specific processes behind. And as of now, you don't really get to automate that within Personio, and that's what we want to address. So this feature will allow you to automate some tasks that you need to go through over and over again whenever some of these changes happen. So you can be like creating specific documents, requesting approvals, sending out tasks. So really trying to make sure that you get to rely on the tool and you don't have to be with a mental burden of what is it that I need to do now? Who do I need to chase now? So the goal is to also allow you to create your own templates here. So let's say that if someone is being promoted, then something needs to be filled out. Or if it is just an office change, maybe we'll have a different process based on to which office the employee is switching to. So you can have these different processes depending on either the legal entity or the country in which you operate. So it will be really up to you to decide on these processes. And now a very sensitive topic, access rights. I think in the office hours I have with my customers, this is the number one thing that customers always have nightmares about whenever they need to change something, and thinking of the impact of these changes. And that's what we want to address. We really want you to feel confident and empowered to do these changes without worrying about what will happen. And the first step will to make it easier and cleaner for you to understand what is it that you're changing, what are the access rights that will be touched, and most importantly, also provide you with templates that will make it more intuitive for you and hopefully ease things and make this permission access way more flexible and safer for you. And something that you get to rely on as well is the fact that you have specific audit trails or an audit log of what was changed, who got assigned, when, and who did which changes. So hopefully you will have the full visibility that you always wish for and usually need as well. And another big topic, particularly for those of you who have decentralized teams, but also if we think about, for example, specialists, let's say, that focus on specific projects, we want you to have the flexibility to decide who are they, what's being delegated, and which employee set should they rely on and manage. So with this concept of the admin light or local admin, let's say, we really want you to have dedicated roles with specific scope. So this means that, for example, you don't need to have local admin country 1, local admin country 2, because that will be all within one role with dedicated scopes for each user. So this will empower you to share everything with your team and make sure that everyone gets to do their work without having to rely on anyone else. Quick show of hands if you're still with us. I know I've been talking a lot, but hopefully you're still with us and excited of what's to come. Perfect. So let's continue then with salaries and payroll. And as you can probably tell by the past slides, we are really making a big effort into providing you the flexibility that you need to operate in your daily work. And that's also true for the preliminary payroll. So You will have a way to customize how you want the payroll to be done per legal entity. So you can have the different notification rules, the periods, customized by legal entity. And also, when it comes to salary proration options, as of now, we only have two, and we are gradually adding more. So you will have the chance to decide also what is it that fits you, and most importantly for each legal entity as well. So the goal is to reduce the complexity and reduce the manual work, so you don't have to do those operations outside of Personio. Another highly anticipated update that is coming soon is the management of extra payouts. So holiday or Christmas allowance, for example, will be made simple and, and automatic. So in a way that if there are any changes, for example, to the base salary, all the related components will be adjusted automatically and reflected in payroll. So whenever those extra payments are configured, being it monthly or annually, for example, this will be something that the system will look into for you. So this means also that you will have way more flexibility and scalability when really deciding on who gets to have this. And that ties also to this other topic that will be this compensation management made easier, especially for big international teams. So the goal is to create specific compensation themes so that, for example, for each country, you get to assign what are the type of compensations that apply to them. For example, for Spain, if you want all employees to be assigned 13th or 14th salaries, with just a few clicks, you get to ensure that will happen. And you have the flexibility to decide on how to group, search, and modify these compensation types. So later on, something that we will also be doing is allowing you to configure, for example, bonuses and some other compensation concepts to make it really comprehensive and as complete as possible. And regarding documents, for some of you, this already started last week, but for everyone, by Thursday this week, you should already start benefiting from signing documents within Personio. And we have a recent change of provider. So now with DocuSign, you will get to be notified about having to sign a document directly within Personio. So no need to be jumping between systems or chasing down emails. And over the coming weeks, in addition to these provider change, you will also be gaining more features and flexibility. So we will get to decide whether you want a simple or an advanced signature, but also always with top-notch security. So that's a guarantee. And other things will be coming also. So you can soon request multiple signatures on the same document, for example, or from a group of people. So we hope this really saves you time and reduces the need to be back and forth and managing all the processes securely. And speaking of security, also the qualified electronic signatures are the most secure and legally binding type of signatures in the market. And this meets strict requirements from the EU, but specifically for Germany's regulation for employment contracts. So later on, something that we also want to introduce is the option for you to activate these qualified signatures as an add-on so that you can use it whenever you need. We will also very soon launch a centralized document management section, what we'll call the Documents Hub, where you'll be able to manage multiple documents at scale, switching it from different categories, sending reminders in bulk, and ruling on scalability. And looking ahead, something that we also want to leverage is the option for you to upload files in bulk, requesting employee signature, for example, which will hopefully make your processes way smoother, and also allow you to generate documents for several employees at once, for example, for security policies or trainings, and with that reduce your manual work. We will also revamp the template management section. So hopefully it will be way easier for you to organize and categorize everything, and allow you to give edit rights also for specific people so that they can work on the documents that they need to rely on. And last but not least, I promise I'll be done in a few minutes and you'll hear back from Will. But let's look into a few more things about AI and how that will be leveraged in Personio. So you should already be having access to this if you're an admin, but looking ahead, your employees will also benefit from the Personio assistant. So they will get instant answers to questions such as the vacation policies that apply to them, how many days they have left. So it will be a time saver for everyone, particularly for you, I hope. And you get to focus on more strategic and high impact work while employees enjoy the freedom of having someone to chat to and also support them in their understanding on how Personia works. And particularly for those of you who are starting with Personio or frequently need to import a lot of employee data, we will be having AI assisted data import. So this means that you don't really need to stick to the template we provide you, and instead you will be able to use the dedicated document you have, and the AI assisted system will guide you through the mapping and translations and handle that for you. So with this, and I stick to my promises, I'll be moving on and passing the mic to Will. And yeah, let's hear what we be having in apps and payroll and Personio you are.
Thank you, Inish. Well, I see lots of reactions already, but let's give a round of applause not only for Inish but the exciting product update. So if you think there was one really cool feature you think you use, why don't you give us a reaction now? Amazing. Well, it looks like many of you have have some features you're looking forward to. Like Ines said, many of them we're planning to be releasing in Q3, some of them later in the year. But let's take a look at some of the apps we've got planned for you. So, oh, there we go. Perfect. And let's start with recruiting. Apologies, technical issues. This is one of Personio's favorite or customers' favorite apps, especially according to my customers. So I'm very excited to present some of the updates we have for you planned for Q3 and beyond within the recruiting app. And within the recruiting, one of the core themes is really making the recruiting process more efficient for you. So with that, for example, and perhaps Ines, you can help me out with some of the clicking because it looks like we did run into technical issues after all. So if we could navigate to the next slide, perfect. We have actually released an interconnection with planning already. So one of our core focuses within Persono is really also providing you a platform which speaks with the different components within itself. So for example, functionalities within planning are actually connected to recruiting to really ensure that some of these processes are more smooth for you. So, for example, we really want to ensure that you're going from creating a position within Personio and the planning function to actually recruiting someone without having to do manual handovers. And once you've actually recruited someone, that candidate status is then changed to hired and automatically updated back within the planning function. And this automation and interconnectedness is, I think, something which is very valuable and something you can use to really make sure those processes are more efficient and streamlined within your organization. And moreover, we also have some pre-filled forms you can use, which basically allows you to create jobs based on some of the data within the positions function. So that's also something very exciting for you. Next, if we move along, we've also got a new application lists and jobs overview for you. And this is really down to making everything within recruiting a lot more transparent for you and customized to actually what your needs are. We know that many recruiters have specific needs, specific priorities they're currently looking at. However, sometimes the data within Personio, especially currently with the current view, can be difficult to find. So what we want to enable you is with these new lists and overviews is to really use the filters, the functionalities, for example, the search bar, and other attributes to really filter down to the data that you need access to, and essentially allow you to really jump into the right stage of the recruiting stage or recruiting pipeline and execute on your recruiting process. And so, for example, you can save preferred views, really easily access that data, look at your top talent, for example, or easily look at the only those jobs which are relevant to you. Moving along, we've also got something I think many of my customers at least have been begging me for, which is more collaboration within the recruiting tool. And for that, we've got a very simple but powerful feature for you, and that's the collaboration via the at mentions. So within the comments section, you can now interact with some of your colleagues within the hiring team by and tagging them within the comments section and easily get updates from them to stay on top of your candidates, on top of the recruiting process, and really ensure that none of you in the recruiting team are missing critical moments. And you can really ensure that not only you have an efficient recruitment process, but the candidate experience is also elevated to the next level. And then this is also something which is probably has been on our roadmap for quite some time. And I'm very, very happy that this is something we can be exploring and potentially releasing to you in Q3. And that is legal entity multi-posting. So as some of you may know, you're currently limited to posting open job positions on LinkedIn, for example, or other social media only through your parent company. With this change, we'll really ensure that the candidate experience and corporate brand is consistent throughout the entire recruitment process, and so that you can actually post some of these open job positions via your sub companies in LinkedIn and other platforms. So this is a very powerful tool, and I'm very happy that we're aiming to release this in the next few weeks and months. To provide you an overview of all the different recruiting updates, I've got this slide prepared for you. So like I said, we've got the connection to planning tool already released to the majority of you. And then in the next few weeks and months, we'll be looking to rolling out the other features. So for example, the new applications list, the new jobs overview, the app mentions, and the legal entity multi-posting. Let's move on to one of my favorite apps within performance, and that's performance and development. And I know we've released a lot of cool new features already in Q2, and there's more. Yeah, I can't believe it either. So let's delve in and look what we've got planned. Exactly. And this is something many of our customers have also requested, which is competencies and career frameworks. So we really understand that this is something you are continuously looking at when you're evaluating your workforce and your employees. What are some of your strengths and weaknesses, for example? And what are the expectations? How can you set clear expectations when you're reviewing performance within your organization? And this will help you. So with career frameworks, you'll be able to set those expectations not only within each individual, but a whole job sets of for example, positions. It will be connected to the job architecture. So basically, that whole setup is streamlined, and you can really ensure that you've got a consistent setup across your organization, not only in the job architectures, but also then when you're reviewing performance, setting expectations to what the current competencies look like, as well as what the competencies for the next level would look like within each job, basically job group. And of course, this will be connected to the performance framework. So if we go to the next slide, we'll see that basically we'll be able to run competency-based reviews. So for example, really delving into those strengths and weaknesses of your organization, you'll be able to really use standardized competency-based questions. So you're ensuring your managers' reviews are also more objective, but at the same time, you're really able to dig deeper into some of the performances of your organization and evaluate, okay, maybe where can I spend my learning and development budget? Where are some of the weaknesses? Where would I want to invest into? So this is something really exciting coming for you in terms of performance and development. And then we've also got something which I know is something lots of our customers have used a workaround for, which has been quite manual. And I'm happy to announce that with this new workflow on probation feedback, you'll be able to reduce that manual workload and hopefully automate some of these processes. So, for example, lots of our customers always had to create a new probation feedback cycle whenever there was a new hire. With this probation feedback workflow, you'll be able to automate it and you'll also be able to customize it according to your needs. So maybe that probation feedback cycle looks different to each office location. No worries. We've got you covered. You'll be able to adjust that as well in Personio. And you can even use that for more than just the probation. So as Ines described earlier, we're really focusing on employee changes, the employee life cycle within Personio. And so we're rolling out this workflow as well for key employee moments, role transitions, or changes of supervisors as well. Be aware that this isn't planned straight away for Q3, but maybe for H2, so it will probably come sometime this year. And then a common theme, as I mentioned earlier, and as Ines touched upon multiple times, is AI. And what we're introducing within performance are AI summaries for managers. And this function really enables managers to efficiently get a comprehensive view of a direct report's performance by summarizing the key strengths and areas of improvement, for example. But it also allows the manager then to use that to efficiently write a manager feedback. So that will hopefully yeah, save time for all involved. Again, looking at what that looks like on timeline, we've got the career frameworks coming in Q3, and then the two other features I just spoke about. So, for example, the probation feedback workflow, as well as the AI insights, that's coming to you later this year. Surveys, another interesting app, and I think something we can, I'm really excited to share to you as well. So within surveys, we've actually introduced a whole new People Matter framework for you. And essentially, this People Matter framework is there to allow you to create surveys with certainty. We know that one of the key blockers for many of you has been, okay, what questions do I need to ask? How do I really measure engagement? Can I make sure that this is really scientific? And how do you really just make sure that you're actually measuring what matters? And we've actually been aligning with internal and external experts to really develop this framework and allow you to focus only on what matters most, which is measuring that engagement. So you'll be able to use this People Matter framework straight from within surveys to launch a survey and really delve into, for example, the retention score, the referral score, and engagement score, and essentially get science-backed insights on and pinpoint exactly where you would need to focus on and where you can invest into to ensure that engagement increases over time within your organization. Along with that, we've also got heaps of templates for you prepared. So not only in terms of survey templates, so think of onboarding, think of topics such as culture and DEI. We've also got expert questions, so a whole library of different questions you can leverage. And this is really just the starting point. You can leverage this then to create surveys specifically dedicated to your needs and the needs of your organization. So I'm really happy that we're yeah, enabling this for surveys too. Like, for example, in workflows, we've got something similar already, and I think this will definitely be added value for you. You can take a look and really use these templates to really hopefully power boost your survey, yes, your survey questionnaires within your organizations. And then finally, touching upon the payroll solution. So please be aware that I won't specifically delve into German-specific payroll solutions. We've got another webinar for that, along with yeah, more information. If you need it, reach out to your AMs and CSMs. I'll focus on some of the international updates here. And with that, I'm very proud to introduce that we have a payroll integration with Lockit NL. Which is super powerful, and I'm very happy to share some of the updates that has for you, because hopefully it will take a lot of the manual work from you. So for example, you'll be able to use employment templates. So straight from the beginning, when you're adding an employee, you'll make sure that you're collecting the data in the correct formats. So you don't need to start or adjust any of that data when you actually do the payroll later down the line. We're also automatically syncing, for example, absences and as well as second employments. And so that data will be stored in real time within Lockets. And so you know don't need to export any data, send any emails or anything like that. That will be automatically synced. And similarly, also the documents will automatically be synced in one place. So think of all the Personio payslips, the company documents, and draft documents that are already in Locket. They will be automatically sent back to Personio and really easily available to view and to store within the new Documents Hub launching later this year as well. And with that, I'd like to briefly touch upon the last aspect, which is our integration with remote. And this is the employee of record integration. And with this, we really want to enable you to hire global talent with confidence. So with this integration, you'll be able to directly actually manage your employee of records within Personio. And that will be really, really helpful to have a transparent overview of anything related to your global talent as well as any internal talent you have within the organization. And we'll also automatically sync the data between Personio and Remote so you always have a single source of truth. So I think this is also a very powerful update I'm happy we'll be able to bring to you within Q3. And with that, I think we've come to a conclusion with all of the updates. We thank you very much for joining and hope to see you next time. However, please also fill out the survey. This will help us to improve the webinar for the next time, and we'd be really grateful just to get your feedback on our webinar today. Thank you very much, and looking forward to seeing you soon.